So today I wanted to review with you how to solve an equation for a variable if there's two variables. So this is something that we went over when we were solving equations way back in chapter 1 at the very beginning. But I wanted to go through some more examples with you, and I would highly recommend that if you don't have a piece of paper and a pencil to write these examples down on, that you pause this right now and get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and copy these examples down on your own paper. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to solve all of these equations for y, because what we're going to be doing here is taking equations in standard form of a graph, just like the 3.4 material, and then turning them into slope-intercept form of a graph, like the 3.5, what we did in class. Okay, so we want them all to be in the form of y equals. Our goal is to get it to be y equals something. So we want to get rid of the term that's on the same side of the equation as our y. So in this case, that's the x. And so we need to do the inverse operation, and these are being added together, and that's a positive 1x. So I'm going to subtract an x from both sides of my equation. This becomes 0, and I'm just left with y. And then we have equals, and we have 5 minus x. Now, if you remember, those are not like terms, so you cannot combine those. So we just leave it as 5 minus x. Now, there's no coefficient on the y here, so we're done. This is it. We've finished with this first one. Okay, we're going to look at another one now. This one here. A little different, has some more numbers in there, but we're still going to do the same thing. We want to isolate the y term and get y by itself. So to do that, we're going to start by subtracting 2x on both sides to get the y term on its own. Okay. So now we have negative y equals, and we can't combine those. They are not like terms. Okay, but now we have this negative in front of the y. So really that's like having a negative 1y. And so what we wanted to do is divide both sides of our equation, all of the terms, by negative 1. And when we divide by negative 1, that's just going to change all the signs. So we get y equals 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. Negative 2 divided by negative 1 is positive 2. So we get y equals negative 3x, or sorry, negative 3 plus 2x. Okay, we're going to do another one here. This one, again, is a little different. This time we have a coefficient in front of our y term. We are still going to do the exact same thing. So we are going to subtract the x term from both sides of our equation. This becomes 0, so we have 2y equals 6 minus x. And remember, we can't put those together. But now we have to divide to get rid of that 2 in front of our y term. So we have to divide every term by 2. Okay, so the 2's cancel out here, and we're just left with y equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. And this is really like having 1x right here, because it's minus x. So minus 1 divided by 2, we're just going to leave it as a fraction, is minus 1 over 2x. Okay, and we're done. So again, our goal is always to get that y term by itself. We want to isolate the y variable by using inverse operations. Okay, so let's look at the next one here. This next one we have is 2x minus 5y equals 0. Again, our goal is going to be to get that y term, that negative 5y by itself. So we need to get rid of this 2x first. Okay, so then we have negative 5y equals 0 minus 2x. Well, 0 doesn't change anything, so really actually what we have right here is just negative 2x. Okay, now we're going to do the same steps as we did before, and we're going to divide by the number in front of our variable that we're solving for, which is y. So we're dividing by negative 5 to get y by itself, and we get y equals negative divided by negative becomes positive, and we just leave it as 2/5 x. Okay, and so we get y equals 2/5 x. Okay, next one here Do the same things again. We want to start by getting rid of that x term over here. So minus 3x and minus 3x. And get that x term. So now we just have our y term, which is negative 2y equals 4 minus 3x, because again, we cannot combine things that are not like terms. We're going to divide by the coefficient on our y, which is negative 2. Those cancel out, and I get y equals 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. And then negative 3 divided by negative 2 becomes positive. Sorry for the bell there. Negative 3 divided by negative 2 becomes positive, so we just have plus 3/2 x. And that is our equation. Y equals negative 2 plus 3/2 x. Okay. Our last one that we're going to go through here, again, the same idea. We're going to start by taking away 3x from both sides. We want to eliminate that term from both sides here because we need to get that negative 2y by itself. Then we have negative 8 minus 3x, and we want to divide everything by negative 2. So then we get y equals 4, because negative 8 divided by negative 2 is 4. Negative 3 divided by negative 2 becomes plus again, so plus 3/2 x. Okay, so again, the reason we are doing this is because we're looking for the slope in the y-intercept. So now we know in this equation that would be the slope. M would be equal to 3/2, and the y-intercept, or the b, would be 4. And that's really our goal. So if we looked back at our previous ones, our slope is the number next to our x, our coefficient on our x term, so this would be the slope, 3/2, and our b would be negative 2. And we can go through and identify that on all of them. So on this one, our slope would be the number next to the x, which is 2/5. That would be our m. And our b would be that plus 0 that we eliminated. So our b would be equal to 0. Okay, and we can do that here. Our slope on this one, goodness, would be negative 1/2 because that's in front of the x. And our b would be 3. And then on this one, our m would be 2. And our b would be negative 3. Okay, and on our first one, our m, since there's no number there, remember that's like having a 1. So our m would be negative 1. And our b would be 5.